first weekly press conference of the 2025 football season. Huskies play Holy Cross on Saturday at 2:30 here at Husky Stadium. First ever meeting between the Huskies and the Crusaders. Coach Hammock is entering his 7th season. Coach, if you'd like to give the assemble here just a recap of preseason camp and your first thoughts on Holy Cross.
Yeah, first of all, it's good to see everybody. You can start to feel the excitement of the first game coming near. Hopefully it's a great crowd. Our players have been working extremely hard for training camp. Certainly excited to play, but we need our fans. We need our fans to show up and show out in Husky Stadium. That creates a tremendous home field advantage. We obviously want to play well at home. We only get 6 opportunities at home for our seniors, and we want to make sure we take full advantage of each opportunity that we get the chance to play at home. Obviously, the opener, Holy Cross, strong team. Coach Kern has done a great job taking over that program. Been a head coach a long time. Was at Merrimack before Holy Cross. Has done a phenomenal job both places that he's been. I can really respect the way Holy Cross plays on tape. They play physical, they play hard, they play disciplined football. Coach Kern was an old fullback, and that shows with the way his team plays. The first thing I look at when I watch an opponent is special teams, and then you watch their special teams unit. They play extremely hard. You watch their punt block team. They're going to come at you with a lot of pressure and try to make you feel uncomfortable. So we have a challenge in special teams. Then you look at them on offense. I think they named number 6 the starter, transfer from Illinois, dual threat quarterback. So obviously they will have the ability to spread you out, allow the quarterback to use his legs. They have tremendous running backs. A lot of guys in their program changed their number. On tape, he was 31. I believe he's number 5 now. Big physical runner, downhill guy. Then number 26, I believe he's number 7 now. He's the slasher, a guy they want to get involved in the passing game. They have some really good wide receivers. Number 13, we need to make sure we definitely identify where he's at. He can do it all. He was a quarterback in high school, so we know he can throw. He's the Wildcat quarterback. They're going to move him in a bunch of different spots. So he's the guy we definitely have to make sure we have all hands on deck. Number 4 is their slot receiver. Not a big guy, but a guy that can take the top off, a guy that can create mismatches in the passing game. And then number 8 was a receiver that got hurt last year. That definitely early in the season you saw his playmaking ability at the wide receiver position. Then up front, you see both their starting guards are back. I think both of their guards were captains, and so you know they have great leadership qualities. So they probably built better inside out, and so the strength of their offensive line is inside the 2 guards, and then obviously they're going to make sure they have ways to take the pressure off those guys. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge offensively. I'll be curious to see how they want to play. The interesting thing about when you watch their tape, last year there was a mix of some 12 personnel, some spread principles. Their head coach was an offensive coordinator. He led the country in passing about 13 years ago. So we know that's in his repertoire as far as spreading it out, throwing the ball all over the place. So we have to be able to defend the whole field. Defensively, you see a group that's very sound, stout. They're going to play what they play. They do a great job stunting the defensive line, changing gaps. They're going to play a 4-2-5 structure. They're going to try to get a safety involved. That's the extra fitter. They're going to mix in pressures at different points, try to get you behind the sticks, and then try to pressure you on 3rd down. So it's going to be a tremendous test for us. This is an opponent that we respect. I really got to know them a couple years ago. We played Boston College and beat them, and I believe they played Boston College a couple weeks later and really gave them a tremendous challenge. And I thought to myself, Now, who would put Holy Cross on our schedule? So they have our full attention. One thing I thought was interesting in camp, I showed our players 40 clips from our SIU game. And the reason I showed them those clips is to show them, any given day, anybody can be beat. And so you have to put the work in, you have to put the preparation in, and these are the reasons why we did not win this game. We had 3 turnovers. Southern Illinois played harder than us. We missed tackles. We didn't play well on special teams, and we had the result that we had. So if we don't want to have this same type of scenario, then we need to make sure we are putting in the time and the effort to make sure we can maximize our ability on Saturday. So excited about the opportunity. We know we got to play our best to give ourselves the best chance to win. We can't just roll out the bed and expect to win this game. And we're going to try to play as hard as we can play for 3,600 seconds.
So many young guys, on the field that haven't played that many, minutes and so forth. You just need a game right now to see where you're at.
Yeah, the first game, everybody's going to go through first game. I told my staff in the spring, we're only going to be inexperienced for one game. And so we just got to put a great plan together for this game to get them confident, to get them experience, and then we can build off of that. And so, I think our staff has put a great plan together to put our players in position to have success, to get some confidence, and then now they have to go out and play. I think, in first games, the things you look for, tackling, penalties, ball security, special teams. That's what first games come down to, and so we got to make sure we are excellent in those areas.
Coach, obviously you entered this season with a new offense, with a new offensive coordinator. In this first game coming up, what do you really want to see from this offense and how they execute?
Yeah, I want to see a triple option. I want to make sure we have the dive, we pitch. I want to see us execute triple option. Very very similar to Army and Navy. So I think we've been doing well at practice. No, that's a joke, obviously. No, I think the biggest thing is working to the strength of our personnel on offense. I think Coach Sanders has done a phenomenal job building an offense around the guys that we have, and I think that's the key, right? And that's going to change week to week. If we lose a receiver in week 1, we may have to be a different offense in week 2, right? If we lose a tight end in week 1, we may have to be a different offense in week 2. We have to evolve, right? Our roster, the roster limits make it more of a pro-style model from the standpoint of, you have to constantly stay ahead in your thought process of building an offense. And I've been very pleased with what I'm seeing from our team on offense, how we doing different things practice to practice, how we putting guys in different spots and trying to maximize our ability. And I'm excited to put the whole thing together and let those guys go out there and make plays.
Has it been harder to prepare since the limited roster, this year than years past?
You know what? I think, we had to be a lot smarter with the way we practice from the standpoint of there was a time we used to try to get anywhere between 105 and 120 reps of practice, right? Obviously, when you have 10 to 12 less people in practice, you can't get 105 reps. So, we would get anywhere between 80 and 90, 95 reps in practice. So those extra, 15 reps, we will make up in the back end and try to get it in walkthrough, right? So we may not get the physical reps, in practice, but we will get the mental reps in walkthrough. And so we tried to balance to make sure that we can prepare our team in a very similar capacity, but not try to beat our team down in the standpoint that we want to be fresh for when the season approach.
You got a new D coordinator as well. Just what have you liked about just the approach defensively throughout camp? Whether it's the intensity, the philosophy, the energy that you're seeing from your team.
Well, I like how Coach Harley and his staff have made points of emphasis each practice. The one thing I believe as a coach is you get what you emphasize. And every day, if something was a negative, they turned it into a positive by making that a point of emphasis the next practice. And so you never quite make your weaknesses your strength, but you make your weaknesses less weaker, if that makes sense. And so we wanted to get better at taking the ball away. We didn't take the ball away enough last year, in my opinion. The game is about the football, right? I don't care how many yards you hold a team to. The game is about getting the ball back to the offense. And so Coach Hartley and his staff have created a lot of drills, put a lot of emphasis on taking the ball back and creating turnovers. And I think hopefully those drills really translate in game with our ability to take the ball back.
I know obviously the lack of experience, at least on paper, but there's a lot of guys just on the offense, like Curry, Holst, Johnson, they've all had, playing time in there. How have you seen those guys kind of, even though they're not like starters from last year, how have you seen those guys kind of take to their new roles, and kind of what has you confident about them that they're going to be able to fill in without missing a beat?
Yeah, we've had a lot of guys that developed in our program. Last year was a unique year, right? It was the last year of COVID. So we had a lot of guys that were in the program a year longer than what we anticipated. And those guys learned from some of those older players. And so just because they didn't play a lot in game, they gained valuable experience with the practice reps. And so we have a team full of guys that has tremendous experience. Now they got to go out there and do it in game. And so when you look at what we were able to add with transfers, that's why my philosophy is production over potential. So the transfers that we were able to add have all played in games. And so we added experience to our team. We became a more experienced football team. And now it's about going out there and gelling as a complete unit.
Coach, how's the offensive line progressed the last few weeks?
Well, I really like what Coach Meadows has done with the offensive line. The one thing a lot of people don't know about when you build in an offensive line, you have to build backup plans to the backup plans. So your right tackle may need to play left tackle. He may need to play right guard. Your right guard may need to play left guard. He may need to play center. And so how do you do that in a practice structure? And so if we go in with the ones, your right tackle plays right tackle. When we go with the twos, your right tackle may play left tackle. And so we built internal depth amongst our team for emergency scenarios. And when you do that, you create depth with your team. Guys can play different spots. So if this guy goes down, this guy slides over, this guy bumps up. And I really like the plan that Coach Meadows had. We talked about establishing a plan from day one. We worked that plan diligently up until about 5 days ago, where we needed to establish, okay, this is our starting five. But now we have all these different contingency plans in place that we feel like, okay, we have enough depth throughout the offensive line that no matter what happens, we got 3 centers we feel confident with. We got 4 guards we feel confident with. We have 4 tackles we feel extremely confident with that we can go out and that can get us through a season.
And how comfortable does Josh Holst look with the new offense, the new scheme, and just kind of sliding into that number 1 role there?
Yeah, Josh was the MVP of the bowl game last year. So, I don't think there's any reservations about him and his ability to play the game of football. There were points last year in training camp where I used to ask my staff, why is Josh not in the mix to be our starter? Because I thought he was playing that well. He's an excellent decision maker. He has a quick release. He can obviously extend plays. And I think that's where Quinn has come in and really elevated his game to the point where he's built things around his skill set. And I think, to me, that's what great coaches do. You build things around what guys do well, and we've certainly built our offense around what Josh do well. And if for some reason somebody else had to play, we will build it around what that particular guy does well. That's to me the epitome of coaching, right? Building around the strength of what each guy can do, and that's when I've been so pleased with what Quinn Sanders has done with our offense.
Coach, looking at linebacker, I know you've talked about Quinn earlier before and how he's going to, shore up the middle. But Philip Macherowski's a new guy. You have starting linebacker. Just talk about what he brings to the table.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's a playmaker. He went out there and he earned the job. I thought he was a guy that could have played a lot for us last year. He had some older guys in front of him, but I thought he was a playmaker for us last year. But he went out there and he earned the role. Coach Conley has done a great job developing him. Mark Preto obviously is going to play as well, but the first two guys out there is going to be Phillip and Quinn. And I think when you look at it, you look at a guy that has his size, has his athletic ability, and can be disruptive. I think he's going to be a hard matchup.
Holy Cross compared to anybody you guys play since you've been here? I mean, offensive, defense, or not?
I think they're just a well-coached, well-disciplined football team. So, I don't like comparing football teams. I think they are an excellent football team. We respect them. And, we got to play our best football on Saturday. So they're going to come in here fired up to play us, and we better be equally fired up to play them to give ourselves the best chance to win.
Yeah, this is probably one of their top 2 or 3 teams on their schedule. I mean, when you take on you guys.
Yeah, it's about us.
Yeah.
So I can't talk about what their mental disposition is. It's about us. So we had a great day of preparation today. We got to come back and stack another day tomorrow, and the rest of the week, and then we'll be excited to play on Saturday.
How did you see the team respond to the SIU stuff you told them about and saying that? Like, how did you see them take that message?
They understood. I mean, I tell them all the time, if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it. So we wanted to study history, and it was a tough meeting, right? And a lot of those guys that were sitting in those seats didn't play in that game. But, hey, you look at the game, you look at the mistakes, you look at it, you see, okay, because the week before we beat Boston College. So we beat Boston College the week before, and then you turn around and you lose to SIU. You have to attack it head on. Why did we lose the game? What were some of the factors that caused us to lose the game? And that's what we tried to address. And so if you look at those things objectively and you learn from it, then you give yourself a better chance to be successful the next time you're in that situation.
You guys spent 8 long months preparing and going over every detail, and so much goes into preparing for a season. I know the players are got to be over excited to play finally a game. But what's it like for you personally? You've been through a lot of openers, but what's it like this week, like personally for you, to finally see all that preparation start to produce some results on the field?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. That's an excellent question. You spend so much time, right? And so as a coach, you are totally committed to everything that you're doing, right? From 5 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. And so you have so much more time for an opener to get prepared. And so in the summertime, I like to golf, right? So I spend the summer trying to figure out golfing, and I can never figure it out, right? I can't hit it straight. I can't hit it where I want to. I can't hit it right. And so last night, I went to the driving range late, like 7 o'clock, because, the game plan is done. And all of a sudden, I'm hitting the ball unbelievably because I'm not thinking about golf. I'm thinking about everything but golf. And so the point is, you are totally consumed with everything that you're doing. You have to have a chance to get away. And every minute you're thinking about everything that can happen, every scenario that can happen. You're in this building, you're talking to the players, you're talking to the coaches, you're balancing all these different things. And this is what we do. This is what we live by. And I enjoy it, but you have to have some outlets. And so for us, the first game, you always have so much extra time. You know, I told my coaches, hey, take your kids to school in the morning. I think that's important, to be a dad, to be present with your family. Those type of things you can't get back. You know, I got a junior in high school now. My son's in 7th grade. You know, 7 years ago, she was, 9 years old, and my son was 5. Those are the things that, as a coach, I think it, is important.
We get very much feedback with your comments at the media day involving NIL and stuff since then. Have anybody touched out to you, any coaches or anything like that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people said, hey, I appreciate what you said. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to take off like it did. I was just being honest. You know, I talk to our players all the time about things like that, and, people say it was passionate. I feel like I talk like that all the time. So, I tell people all the time, I can only be me. Everybody else is taken.
Well, we need to get you out more, Thomas. Anything else for Coach?
Thank you. Have a good one.
Junior cornerback, Jacob Finley, is here in the red polo. Pierce Opong is in his 6th year here at NIU. I think he's going to try and get a doctorate. He's now playing tight end as well as a little bit of defensive end for us this year. Questions for our student athletes?
First will be for Pierce. So I know you made that transition to a two-way player, with this offseason. Just now you've gotten that whole experience in. Just what's it been like to, adjust to this change?
It's been good. Thankfully, over the past couple of springs, I've been dabbling into tight end a little bit more often, just because we're in the off season and we have the time to do that. It's been good. Thankfully, this year it's actually transitioned into the actual season this fall, so I'm really excited to see how I'll be able to help impact the team on the offensive side of the ball as well as the defensive side of the ball.
Jacob, so just going into this first game, that this is the first season where you're one of the top corners on the roster. Just when you look at this Holy Cross offense, what do you see as the biggest threats?
Just run game, and just to come with first game, just us tackling, just the things that come with the first game, just us being tackling, us just knowing our assignments, things like that. But they have a good running back. They have a couple good receivers too, and they have a quarterback who transferred from Illinois, so he has a good arm. So nothing that we haven't seen, but we have to be prepared for it.
I was going to say for Pierce, Coach had mentioned showing clips of the SIU game, kind of, to push the point that, you can't take anything for granted and that sort of thing. How do you see the team kind of take that message? Obviously, played in that game a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's just a big thing we're trying to hammer here is just not being complacent, especially coming off a big win, just maintaining. He kind of came in today and mentioned just every play usually takes 6 seconds, and so just 6 seconds and wash, even if it's good or bad. You just got to wash that and be ready to continue keep playing the game, because when you get complacent, it can hurt you in the end. So just being level-headed, staying level-headed through the highs and the lows to keep us moving forward in the right direction.
Pierce, it sounds like Coach Sanders has really brought a lot of flexibility and versatility to the offense. You guys are going to be able to do a lot of different things. How challenging has it been to learn his offense, and how excited are you guys about the possibilities that will be presented by what he's brought to the team?
Yeah, it has been a little challenge for everybody to just pick up the new offense, especially with the new coordinator coming in. Thankfully, with my educational background, I'm a mechanical engineer, so that definitely helped carrying over to at least learn and get the offense down. So I've been getting it down day by day, so I'm excited to see how we're gonna like show out when the first week comes against Holy Cross.
Defensively, a similar position here with a new coordinator. What's just kind of the attitude, the intensity like on defense for you guys?
It's the same. It's the same intensity. We just want to go out there and fight every play. Do our assignment. Everybody go out there, do our 111. And just with Coach Harley, he came in with the motto, just heat. Just make everybody uncomfortable. Most people are uncomfortable in the heat. A lot of people don't perform well when it's too hot outside. So we wanna raise that temperature for other teams. We wanna put them under pressure. So so that we know that they're not gonna perform in heat. So that's just our motto: heat. Just to go in there and just play our hardest.
You guys ready to bring the heat Saturday then?
Definitely, yes, sir.
Just looking, got the countdown clock up here, 4 days. I mean, just what's the anticipation level like for both you guys here as you get ready for kickoff at Husky Stadium?
Yeah, you see the clock up there, the countdown clock. I mean, since the spring, we've been seeing it at 80 days. So just every day coming in here in the team meeting room, just looking at that clock, just knowing that Saturday, August 30th is coming up, and this is our first game and our first battle on the board is Holy Cross, and we just want to go in there with most intensity and just go in there and just get the win at the end of the day.
Yeah, like what Finley was saying, we've been watching that day by day from day 80, and it's getting real, more and more real as it gets closer and closer with it 4 days now. So excited to see what the guys have been putting all this work in that we've done in the off season, into the summer and into fall camp, and just putting on a show for everybody and executing what we've been trying to execute this whole off season.
Defensively, I know the forcing more turnovers has been more of a focus this offseason. Just, how has that gone, and what have you seen out of this team that has you guys positive that you will be able to force more turnovers this year?
With Coach Harley, he's coming in. He's just emphasizing turnovers, punching at the ball more. When you wrap him up, the first guy wrap him up, second guy come in and punch at the ball, see if the guy fumbles, because a lot of guys once they're wrapped up, they tend to just brace and they don't know when the second contact's coming in. So just coming in and punching at the ball, trying to force fumbles, trying to give our offense another opportunity to go down there and score and get off the field. So.
Any other questions for our guys? Seeing none, thank you, fellas.
Appreciate y'all.